Did you know that you could use the Apple Watch as a flashlight? That's what we're going to look at in this video. When we use our Apple Watch as a flashlight, what we're able to do is basically turn the display into just a bright white light, or we can have it flash different brightness levels. This is great for if you're going out for a walk or riding your bike at night. And then you can also change it to an orange red. Let's see how we can use our Apple Watch as a flashlight. Let's go to my Apple Watch. Now the first thing I want to mention is I am using watchOS 9. All right, so how do we turn on our display to make it a flashlight? Just make it bright white. Well, what we need to do is we need to go to our control center. So I'm looking at my Apple Watch face here. To go to the control center, what I do is I just swipe up from the bottom. This only works when you're within an Apple Watch face. I'll show you how you get to the control center when you're within an app shortly. So I just swipe up. I'm at the control center. Within this control center, we have a number of different controls, one of them being a flashlight. Now, before we go and turn this on and look at the different features, let's see how we get to the control center when we're in an app. I mentioned it works a little bit different. So I'm going to go back over to my watch face, and I'm going to go to the temperature here. Now, when I tap on the temperature, it's going to open up the weather app. Now, when I swipe up from the bottom here, what it's going to do is it's going to scroll through the app. So I swipe up and it scrolls through the app. So how do I get to the control center? Well, all I need to do is just long press at the bottom here. And when I long press, you can see it peeking through. I swipe up and I'm at my control center. Now you can also, of course, just press in on the digital crown to get back to the watch face. All right, so now we know how to get to our control center. Let's take a look at the flashlight. So I'm going to swipe up from the bottom, and now we have my flashlight here. Again, yours may be in a different position. We can move these different controls around. So just scroll up until you find it. All right, to turn your Apple Watch into a flashlight, all you have to do is just tap on this, and then the display will turn white, and now you've got a flashlight. You can just aim this around, and you've got a flashlight. Now, I mentioned that we can change the brightness levels. This is great for walking at night or riding a bike at night. How do we do that? Well, all we have to do is just swipe over to the left. When I swipe over to the left, we can see it's changing different brightness levels. And then if I swipe over to the left again, we have a red-orange color. When I swipe over to the right, it brings me back to the flashing, and then it brings me back to just my standard on. It's just going to be a standard flashlight here. So now that we know how to turn it on, how do we turn it off? Two different ways to do that. What we can do is we can press in on the digital crown, and when I do that, it turns it off. Or what we can do is we can just cover it with our hand, cover the Apple Watch with our hand. So I'm going to go and turn this back on, swipe up, we go to the flashlight, and now when I cover this, watch what happens. It turns the flashlight off. So we can either cover it or we can press in on the digital crown. So that is how we can use our Apple Watch as a flashlight. Basically, all we have to do is just go to our control center and then look for the flashlight icon. When we tap on that flashlight, it's going to turn a bright white. We can swipe to the left or right to change it from a flashing brightness to a different color, an orange red. To turn it off, we just cover our Apple Watch or we press in on the digital crown. So that's how you can turn your Apple Watch into a flashlight.